the Nova. Try and get your stacks up on that.
How do you think?
Just quick.
Yeah.
If you get your stacks up on that. There you go.
Oh, fuck's sake, this skier set's broken. Ready! Hello everyone, today we have another Heartbreaker build video for you. I've already done a couple of these. I did my own version of like a spotter Heartbreaker build for PvE. I did a perfect spotter build for PvP and I really enjoyed those builds. But I wanted to know what the meta Heartbreaker build was. So we've got a couple of people in our community that are very knowledgeable and they have their ears all over this sort of thing in different discords and whatnot. And one of them is Mike, who's our Shade community admin. He's a great guy. And I asked Mike in a DM, I said, Mike, what's the meta way to make this build? And there's two versions right now. They're kind of like debating which one's the better version. There's a crit damage version and there's a headshot damage version. And today I'm going to show you both of these. We've grinded them recently on stream. We put the builds together and we've tested them. And I've got to say my personal favorite for console on controller is definitely the crit version of the build. It is absolutely insane. I believe it is broken. We've spoken a lot about it in stream. The damage is just incredible when you get like all your team buffs going, and even like solo without any buffs, you do the stacks that you get and the damage that you do is just insane. Such an overpowered build. I actually do think this needs nerfing to a degree. You know, don't shoot me for saying that. We had a big debate in stream about this when I did it on a raid stream the other night. But it's so overpowered, so fun to use at the same time. I'm not going to take that away from it. You know, it's such a fun build to use. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to start this video off today by showing you a couple of clips. We get a 4 million crit with an AR, the Kingbreaker, and I got another clip where we just take out a Chunga pretty much instantly as well. It's just insane. So you're going to check out the clips, then we're going to move on to the build, and you'll see exactly how the build is made. If you do enjoy this video today, please do hit like and share to support it. Subscribe if you're new here. We just hit 40,000 subscribers, so thank you very, very much. But most importantly, we have a fantastic gaming community. Before you leave today, come and check us out. It's linked at the top of the video description. Here's some clips. Dave, do I need to tell you when to overcharge, or have you got it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
No
Pushing,
need
don't
when you-
shoot
Oh.
until the pulse goes out. And you, yeah. Oh, I was meant to be doing this guy, weren't I? Oh.
Hey, overcharge it, Dave. I forgot.
My bad, wrong one. There you go.
And then destroy the boss. Oh my god. You know what though, with all the buffs, oh, 4 mil crit. A 4 mil fucking crit. Oh my god. 4 mil. Remember, don't do left side on front. Please.
Come on, give me up, give me up, give me up, give me up, give me up. Give me up, come on. Don't go back to this level.
Hey, drone's gone! Whoop whoop!
Not bright and full. Ah, there you go.
Oh, can we be quicker? Thank you.
Okay, Black, shoot the sides.
No one's shooting the left, are they? No, they're not.
No one's shooting the left.
I'm getting absolutely...
I just did left solo with ease.
Come on, you.
Watch out for the drones.
Wow. I just want some stacks and see.
Oh, Chunga's going to be coming out.
Oh, Shunga coming. Perfect. Don't worry. You can do the
Yeah, I'm
thing
gonna get
again.
this rocket.
Thank you.
Yep, okay. Line, we're back on it.
Okay.
I just get myself in 4 stacks and then rinse him with ease. 1 clip that took then. Oh my god. So as you just saw, this build is absolutely OP. All of those clips were with the crit damage version of this build that's on screen now. As I said, the Chunga, the 4 million crit, and that 1 person weak spot on Razorback as well. Now I know this can be done anyway. I've done it in the past with like a... the Hollow Man mask on a health damage build. We've done it with Glass Cannon. You now do it with the Ravenous as well, which I've always called quite cheesy. And now you can easily do it with this build as well with absolute ease with these stacks. So this build It's very, very good. It's very fun to use. I do think this gear set has to be toned down personally. Like, one thing I will say is, like, when you've got like a talent like Glass Cannon on the game, this build renders that talent useless now, because you're getting more damage out of this build, and you actually get given bonus armor for it rather than take additional damage like with Glass Cannon. So it's quite unbalanced, I feel. However, this is how it is right now. The devs said they're happy with this. They were at the PTS. They were happy with how the output of the damage was. We'll soon see. My advice is, we'll discuss as we go. I'll talk about the stacks and how I think they could maybe fix this build so it's not so OP. But anyway, there's two versions. This is the crit damage version we're going to show you first. Both use the technician specialization. You can use whatever grenade that you want. Now, there's two weapons that you want to use on this build, or that you can use rather. I prefer the Kingbreaker. If you know me, I always like my lower fire rate ARs. Don't know why, I just like the feel of them. But you can go for a higher fire rate if you want. Now, I use the Kingbreaker. I've got assault rifle damage, health damage, damage target I cover with perfect flatline, which amplifies weapon damage by 20% to pulse enemies. After 2 kills, it applies pulse to the next enemy that you hit. The mods on that, which are quite important, because this is why you're using a technician. You got the credit chance scope there that I use. You've got the 20 rounds extended, but it's the linked laser pointer that you want to throw on. You can only do that if you have the technician specialization and you get it unlocked. Any enemy that you aim at will be pulsed, which works absolutely fantastic with this build. I was against it at first, but when I was getting used to the stacking and getting the stacks up quickly, this is absolutely vital, and you know, it's won me over. The other mod there is a credit chance mod on the muzzle as well. Now, the different weapon you can use if you don't want to use the Kingbreaker is a Police M4. This does very well at keeping the stacks up. It's also much quicker RPM at 850. Again, assault rifle damage, health damage, damage target I cover, and get flatline on it. If it's not perfect flatline, it's going to amplify weapon damage by 15% to pulse enemies, and after 3 kills, applies pulse to the next enemy that you hit. So it's exactly the same as the perfect flatline in a way, but you get more damage, and after only 2 kills, you get the pulse to the next hit. So you are losing a little bit of damage on that, but for the faster fire rate, you might prefer it. So that's up to you. The secondary as well, you can use 1 or 2 weapons. Really, there's a rock and roll, which I use. Shotgun damage, damage to armor, accuracy, just to help more of the pellets hit. And it's got perfectly extra on the rock and roll. This is a DZ only weapon, and you can get it on named caches as well, or DZ proficiency caches, or conflict caches, or sometimes it's on sale at the DZ vendors. I like the perfectly extra 50% magazine capacity, because I feel that helps get the stacks up quickly without having to reload. And yeah, that's what I use to get my stacks up. The mods, again, I throw an accuracy mod on there for more accuracy, to hopefully get more of the pellets to hit to get the stacks up quicker. And you use the linked laser pointer, so when you aim at the enemy, they are going to be pulsed for you, because it needs to be pulsed before you can stack, which you'll have a look at in a minute with the gear set. Sidearm really doesn't matter. I have the TDI card custom. So this is how the build looks for the crit build of it, with crit chance and crit damage. You go 4-piece Heartbreaker on the mask, chest, holster, and knees. It's the same on the headshot version, and you roll crit damage on every single piece. You can see I got crit damage rolled on the mask, the chest, I've got it on the holster and the knees, and I've got critical hit damage mods on the mask and the chest and the backpack as well. You're going to have to farm for these with critical hit damage on, because they're armor cores, and you have to roll off the armor core for weapon damage on all 4 pieces. So it's a little bit of a grind, but it's not too bad at all. And for those that don't know, I'm sure you do by now, for 2 pieces of Heartbreaker, you're going to get assault rifle damage and LMG damage. 3 pieces, you're going to get weapon handling. 4 pieces, you're going to get the Heartstopper talent, where headshots apply pulse for 5 seconds. That's not really going to matter with the way you're using that mod with the technician. But weapon hits on pulsed enemies are going to add a stack of 1% bonus armor and 1% damage to pulse enemies, up to a max of 50 stacks. 2 stacks are lost each second. So that's what a gear set does. And with the chest piece, you get an additional talent, which is called max BPM, which increases max stacks for Heartstopper from 50 to 100. Now, it is insane how quick you can get to that 100 stacks with this rock and roll. I forgot to mention the second gun you could use earlier. The other version of the rock and roll is the ACS 12. So if you haven't got a rock and roll, you can just use the ACS 12. It'll do exactly the same thing, and you can roll flatline on it maybe, you know. So whatever, the ACS 12 or the rock and roll will get those 100 stacks up very, very quickly, and before you know it, you have got all that bonus armor and you've got all that extra damage at 100% extra damage. You switch to your main and you are doing so much damage to that pulsed enemy. It is unbelievable. That's how the build works. We finish the crit build off with the contractor's gloves, so crit hit damage rolled onto them. It's giving you LMG damage as well, which you don't use, and the Cheska backpack. I've got one here. It's not too good, but you get 10% critical hit chance for the one-piece Cheska. Weapon damage rolled, crit damage, crit chance, and a critical hit damage mod. Throw vigilance on that, which increases total weapon damage by 25%, and the build is finished. Obviously, taking damage disables that buff for 4 seconds, but it is such a good talent to have for that damage increase. And that is the critical hit version of this build, and what I've been advised is probably the meta. I can't tell you how much I enjoy using this, even though I do think it's broken. And the one way I'd say they could fix this, or my recommendation to make this probably more balanced, is rather than have 100 stacks, they probably should have the chest piece taking it up to 50. So maybe 25 stacks, and then the chest piece will take it to 50. I think 50 stacks is far more balanced than 100, but we'll see what they do. Lots of people loving this build. They're loving how OP it is. And like I said, we had a good debate in stream the other day. We all have our own opinions. I do feel it's a little bit over the top. But let me know what you think in the comments. The skills I use with this is a revive hive, and I go shield. The shield's just so I can pull that out very quickly to get my stacks up with the shotgun before I take cover with the AR and absolutely wreck. Now, the other version of this, very quickly actually, the stats. So it's a crit hit chance build. This is why you use a Cheska, because without the Cheska backpack, it'd be at 26% crit hit chance, which is very low. Cheska puts it up to 36% critical hit chance. It's got 145% critical hit damage on the build. So that's why we're using the Cheska piece there. It's a gear set. You only get one attribute. You know, the crits are low. Have someone in your team with a coyote mask though, and as you know, they are all buffed and you're not going to notice the difference. The other version of this build, which as Mike said was being discussed, which one was meta, is either the crit or the headshot version. It looks very, very similar. Again, the weapons are going to be the Kingbreaker or the Police M4. I wrote headshot damage over damage target at a cover on that, just because it works for the build. Same with the Police M4 if you're going to go with that. And the secondary is exactly the same. I got the rock and roll, or you can use the ACS 12. And the build looks exactly the same pretty much. You've got the Heartbreaker gear in mask, chest, holster, and knees, but this time instead of crit damage on them, you're going to throw headshot damage on them. So headshot damage rolls there, the headshot damage mod. Same with the chest. You got headshot damage roll on the holster, and you got one on the knees as well. You'll have to find these with headshot damage on, so you can roll weapon damage over the blue cores. And it's the same gloves again. We're going to be using the contractor's gloves for the damage to armor, but again, you're going to have headshot damage rolled onto them instead of crit damage. And the backpack, instead of the Cheska, you're going to go a Providence backpack. Use the gift if you can, but it doesn't really matter if you don't have a gift. Just use a Providence one with vigilance, and it's got weapon damage. Crit damage doesn't really matter so much. The main thing is the headshot damage roll with the headshot damage mod. So as you can see, the build's all around headshot damage on this one rather than crits. It's the same weapons, the same specialization for obvious reasons for the mod, so you can pulse them by aiming at them. Doesn't matter what grenade you got, doesn't matter what sidearm you got, shield and hive again, and it's exactly the same, but you're going to be aiming for headshots. I didn't have as much fun with this build. I felt I don't know. I just much preferred the crit build myself. You do have 184.1% headshot damage on. Might be a build more suited for PC players. I'm not so sure. But what Mike said is the debate is it's either this one or it's the crit one. And that is the meta for the Heartbreaker gear set. So let me know what you think in the comments. How have you made this build? Have you made it any better? Have you got any higher numbers than me? The highest crit I've got with my AR is 4 mil, as you saw in the clips. I want to know. Let me know. And that does now bring us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this today. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Although I'm kind of like saying it needs a nerf and I think it's too overpowered, I do really enjoy this new gear set. I really enjoy using it right now. I just hope there's more difficult content coming for us to use this sort of gear on. Like they kind of started it at the end of TU12, whenever it was, the end of season 4, when he brought in the Scorpio. The Scorpio was such an overpowered weapon. It's kind of continued with that with this new gear set coming back in season 9, something real overpowered again. I'd love to see some more challenging content to use all this gear in, because being like a hardcore player that plays all the content and gets through it quite easily now and figures it all out, I still need a challenge. And I do 100% understand there's a lot of people that struggle with this game, especially more casual players, and we do need to look after them. But at the same time, we need to look after these people like ourselves that are really into it and hardcore on it and still need that challenge. So as fun as it is, I hope there's more challenging content to come to use this on. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. As I said, guys, I am going to end it there. Thank you for watching this today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel and watch more videos from me. But most importantly, come and check out that community. It's linked at the top of the video description. We'll see you in there. Until then, stay safe and peace out.